We're coming back with another video, man. So we got some updates on Shedeur Sanders, man. He did an interview, one of Cleveland reporters. This is a team reporter, and he's talking about how OTA's been, how mini camp been. Now, I have not reacted to this yet. I wanted to watch it here with you guys on the channel. Now, we've been hearing a lot from Andrew Berry, Todd Monken, a bunch of stuff from all of these different set of people, but I'm glad we finally get to hear from Shedeur himself. So Shedeur himself did this interview, and he speaks about the roster.
The tension in Cleveland is reaching a breaking point, and Shedeur Sanders just broke his silence in a way that has everyone questioning what's really happening behind closed doors. Imagine having the entire sports world watching your every move, waiting for you to trip up, only for the very first question you're asked in a major interview to be about a severed horse head. It sounds like something straight out of a mob movie, but for Shedeur, this is just another day in the circus of high-stakes football. While the media is hunting for headlines and drama, the young quarterback is trying to navigate a locker room that is currently a powder keg of competition and uncertainty. The offseason was supposed to be a time for rest, but for someone like Shedeur, the word break doesn't seem to exist in his vocabulary. He's been wearing out the card reader at the facility, waking up every day with a level of intensity that would break most veteran players. When asked if he's had a chance to breathe, his response was chillingly simple: he's waking up every day, and that's enough breathing for him. This isn't just a player trying to get better, this is a man who feels the weight of an entire franchise on his shoulders. He's refusing to focus on the results, choosing instead to bury himself in the day-by-day process, but that level of isolation comes with a heavy price.
Horse head.
What you talking about?
From Monk, the gift you gave to Coach.
You still talking about that?
No one's asked you about it. Have they?
Yeah, that was so long ago. I done forgot about the horse head. I was about to go buy a real horse last week.
A real one?
Yeah, I was about to buy a real horse last week.
Laughing
We building a horse stable at home. So
Shedeur already frustrated in this interview. Already, he said, "Damn, man, you still talk."
But even with that focus, he couldn't escape the bizarre controversy surrounding a gift he gave to Coach Monken. The media has been obsessed with this horse head story, trying to paint it as some kind of Scarface-style threat or a sign of internal friction within the coaching staff. You could see the sheer frustration in Shedeur's eyes as he was forced to explain it yet again. He claimed it was a sentimental memory from his childhood, a gift his aunt sent him that stuck in his mind. But in a city like Cleveland, where every gesture is analyzed under a microscope, a horse head isn't just a gift, it's a narrative. People are desperate to find a crack in the foundation, looking for any sign that the relationship between the star quarterback and the coaching staff is turning toxic. While the media digs for dirt, Shedeur is busy building a wall around himself that few people are allowed to cross. He recently revealed a communication policy that has left fans and insiders stunned. He told his friends, his family, and his inner circle that unless it is a matter of life or death, they are not to hit his line. He is entering a total blackout. On one hand, you have to respect that Mamba mentality where the game is the only thing that matters. On the other hand, it's a terrifying level of isolation. To tell your own family not to call unless someone is literally passing away shows a level of pressure that is almost suffocating. He's making it clear that his mind is strictly on the field, and he hasn't even made summer plans because he refuses to let his brain leave the practice facility. This intensity is being met with a strange silence from the front office that is starting to feel like a calculated deception. Andrew Berry and the coaching staff have officially started moving the goalposts on when they'll actually name a starting quarterback. Originally, the fans were promised an answer by the end of spring, but now the narrative has shifted to taking their time. This delay is starting to smell like a potential disaster. In NFL history, when a quarterback battle is this legitimate this late in the game, it usually means that nobody has actually stepped up and seized the position. The media is predicting a wreck, suggesting that if the staff doesn't know who their guy is by now, the season might be over before it even starts. What's even more concerning is the state of the roster Shedeur is trying to lead. With veteran leaders like Joel Bitonio moving on, the torch hasn't just been passed, it's been dropped into a sea of uncertainty. The offensive line is brand new, the rookie class is still finding its feet, and the togetherness Shedeur talks about feels more like a defensive shield against the outside world than a genuine bond. He's throwing to new targets and trying to build chemistry with players who have never felt the heat of a Sunday afternoon in Cleveland. He claims he isn't surprised by the talent of the new guys, but there's a difference between college production and NFL reality, and that gap is where careers go to die.
Telling them, if it ain't about nothing, don't hit my line, dog. If it ain't about the money, if it ain't about me playing, starting, I don't want to hear it. That's the right mindset to have, man. Now, if you guys don't know, we did hear from Andrew Berry earlier. I reported on that. There was a lot surrounding what Andrew Berry said in that interview. Todd Monken won as well, but I just want to play a little bit for you guys here.
As the team prepares to break for the summer, the air isn't filled with excitement, it's filled with questions. Shedeur is heading into his blackout, the coaches are hiding their depth chart, and the fans are left wondering if they're watching a masterpiece or a meltdown. The front office might think they can play it safe by delaying their decision, but all they're doing is letting the pressure build until it inevitably explodes. Every rep in training camp will be scrutinized, every missed throw will be magnified, and every silence from the coaching staff will be filled with rumors of trades and benchings. Ultimately, Shedeur Sanders is walking a razor-thin line. He's trying to prove he's the leader this franchise needs while the world tries to turn him into a headline. He's blocking out the noise, ignoring the horsehead conspiracies, and waiting for the moment he can finally let his game do the talking. But if the front office doesn't get on the same page, all that preparation might be for nothing. We are looking at a situation that could define the next decade of football in this city, and right now, it feels like everyone is one wrong move away from a total collapse. It's a high-stakes game of poker where the pot is the future of the franchise, and Shedeur is the only one who seems to realize just how much is actually on the table. Whether he emerges as a legend or a cautionary tale is anyone's guess, but one thing is for certain, when that first whistle blows, there will be nowhere left to hide. But the pressure doesn't just stop at his front door, it follows him directly into the huddle with a group of rookies who are essentially being thrown into the fire. Shedeur was quick to praise the new guys, calling them amazing and saying they're just carrying over what they did in college. But let's be real, the jump from the college ranks to the pro level is a graveyard for amazing talent. He's putting his entire season, and potentially his career, in the hands of kids who haven't even seen a real NFL blitz yet. If that connection doesn't click instantly, all the midnight lifting and communication blackouts in the world won't save him from the hits he's about to take. It's a high-stakes gamble on unproven potential, and in a locker room that's already on edge, one bad game could turn those amazing relationships into a blame game that tears the team apart from the inside out. And then there's the ticking time bomb of the Week 1 deadline that no one wants to talk about. The insiders are already warning us that we might not have a named starter until the literal week of the first game. Think about the chaos that creates in a locker room. You have multiple guys all fighting for the same spot, none of them getting the full support of the first team reps, and a coaching staff that's acting like they're too indecisive to pull the trigger. It's a recipe for a disaster that we've seen play out dozens of times before. The media members are already calling it a mess of massive proportions, and they aren't wrong. If you don't have a leader by the time the bus pulls up to the stadium, you don't have a team. Shedeur might be ready to fight, but if the organization is still playing guessing games with the most important position on the field, he might be fighting a battle that's already been lost in the front office. What happens when the silence finally breaks is going to change everything. Beyond the physical grind and the radio silence, there's a much deeper, more psychological game being played here that most people are completely overlooking. By cutting off the world and adopting this lone wolf persona, Shedeur is essentially betting his entire reputation on his ability to perform without a safety net. It's one thing to be focused, but it's another thing entirely to alienate the very support system that keeps a young star grounded. In the cutthroat world of pro sports, being off the grid can quickly be misconstrued as being above the team. If things start to go sideways on the field, that communication blackout won't be seen as dedication, it'll be seen as a lack of accountability. There's a very thin line between a player who is possessed by the game and one who has become unreachable, and if Shedeur crosses that line, the locker room...
For a lot of the same content, be prepared for a lot of the same stuff to constantly and keep coming out, because we're not going to know who the quarterback is until the first week. I can almost promise you that, bro. I've been in the business my long time, bro. 5 years exactly. And I'm telling you right now, situations like this, so much attention like this, we're not going to know until the week before the game. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments section, man. Until next time, dog. Chin up, chest out, wrist up. Shake the haters off. I'm out of here, baby. Peace.
Chemistry he's trying to build will evaporate before the first month of the season is over. The silence he's creating might be his greatest strength, but it could also become the very wall that keeps his teammates from truly following him when the DMN game is on the line. And while everyone is distracted by the quarterback battle and the media clips, a much darker rumor is starting to circulate about what's actually happening in the front office. There are whispers that this delay in naming a starter isn't about competition at all, but rather a massive power struggle between the coaching staff's vision and the organization's brand interests. You have to ask yourself why a team would risk a disaster by leaving their roster in limbo unless there was a significant internal conflict regarding who really holds the keys to the franchise. Is Andrew Berry truly looking for the best player, or is there a shadow management style at play that's trying to protect a specific narrative? The media's frustration is just a symptom of a much larger problem, a lack of transparency that usually signals a house divided. If the coaches want one guy and the front office wants another, the player caught in the middle is the one who ultimately pays the price. Shedeur is operating as if his destiny is in his own hands, but the reality is that he might be a pawn in a much bigger chess match that hasn't even been fully revealed to the public yet. What happens when that power struggle finally reaches a breaking point will determine not just the starter, but the very survival of the coaching staff.